Welcome to the Monmouth Junction Fire Department's training video series. In today's video, we are going to go over hydrant operations where we will perform a forward hose lay. In a forward lay, the engine is going to stop at the hydrant and proceed up to the fire scene to lay the supply line, as opposed to a reverse lay where the engine is going to stop at the scene and proceed over to a hydrant. Per our standard operating guidelines, the incident commander is going to decide which piece of apparatus is going to establish a supply line, whether it is the first due engine or a later arriving piece of apparatus. For our department specifically, all three of our engines have 1,000-gallon booster tanks on them, so that gives the officer or the incident commander the ability to decide if he wants to go for the fire first or establish a water supply right away. For the hydrant operation, to the person making that connection, it should be a one firefighter job. This firefighter should be well versed in how to do this connection, be able to do it 100% correct 100% of the time. If manpower permits, a second firefighter may be available to assist to make the hydrant connection, but that's not always going to be the case. So again, it is critical that one firefighter know how to be able to do this task. Obviously, we want to make this connection as quickly as possible. Time is of the essence. The fire is going to continue to burn until we get water on it. If it's a larger firefighter that exceeds the capacity of the water tank, again, we want to get that sustained water supply into the scene as quickly as possible. But with that being said, if it is the first due engine that's making that connection, you do have some time to get that connection made. The first due engine has to lay out to the scene. That's going to take time. Firefighters have to exit the apparatus, stretch hose lines, and start putting water on the fire using tank water, so there is a bit of a delay to when that water supply is needed. But again, time is of the essence. We want to get that water supply established as quickly as possible. So again, for our scenario today, the first due engine has been instructed to lay in to create their own water supply. Our engine is engine 204 today. They've stopped at the hydrant, and a firefighter is going to make that connection. So with that being said, let's go ahead and watch the operation. Here, engine 204 has stopped. The ignition just past the fire hydrant with the tail board past the hydrant for the firefighter to make the connection. The firefighter exits the cab and make sure to grab a portable radio on the proper operating route. Move this up to the rear compartment. He's going to remove the Hydrant Assist Valve, put that down on the curb, grab the hydrant bag as well. Put that down. You can get that tray out of the way, climb up to the rear step, and open up the hose bed. He then grabs the 5-inch line. He's going to step away from the truck a little bit, give himself some slack, where he can have enough hose, walk over to the fire hydrant, give at least one full wrap all the way around. Once it's secure, he can either radio the engine or give him a wave as well. Give him a wave, the driver sees that, and can start laying out the supply line. As the supply line is being dropped, the firefighter can come back over to our hydrant. He can grab the hydrant wrench. He's going to loosen all three caps on the hydrant at once. He's got the wrench in his hand. He can loosen them all up. As soon as he has all the caps loose, then he can get them off hand tight. He can put that hydrant wrench on the operating stem on top of the hydrant, so it's out of the way, it's in position, whereas if he drops it, or maybe it's late at night, it's dark, he might lose the wrench and not be able to see it. He will spin off all three of the caps on the hydrant. Once he has the three caps off, he's going to install the three valves. There's two 2.5-inch gate valves that get connected on the side discharges of the hydrant. He can screw those on, hand tight. He's got one valve on, then he puts the second valve on. For our operation, we're usually not going to need these 2.5-inch discharges, but if we do, we need additional water supply. We have that capability with the 2.5-inch gate valve already on the hydrant. Now he's going to connect the hydrant assist valve to the front steamer connection on the hydrant. It is awkward to connect. It is very easy to get it off tilt, so it's not easy to screw on. So in this case, our firefighter, he can support the weight of the hydrant assist valve with his legs. He can also use his hand, pull up on the handle of the hydrant assist valve, or he can even come over and lift up the front, again, to try and get it nice and square so he can thread that on. If need be, he can get a mallet to tighten it up. Once he's got that done, he's going to turn on the hydrant. As he opens the hydrant, he's going to make sure that he opens that hydrant fully. About 15 to 20 turns to get that hydrant open. You want to make sure that, again, all of those valves on the hydrant are fully closed before he turns the hydrant on. Otherwise, obviously, water would start leaking from our hydrant. Once he's got that valve on completely, we need to flush our hydrant by opening up one of the 2.5-inch discharges. This is done to make sure the hydrant is in operating condition. Rinse any debris out, and make sure we have good, clean water coming out of our hydrant. Once he's got the hydrant open, he's going to go to a 2.5-inch valve. He's going to open it up fully. With the valve closed, he can then take his 5-inch line, unwrap it from the hydrant, and connect it into the front discharge of the hydrant assist valve, and lock it into place. It clicks into place. He can then straighten out that 5-inch line so it's not going to kink. Once that is done, he can radio to the hydrant and see if they're ready for water.
Are you ready for water?
Up at the scene, as the engine stops, the crew can start fighting the fire if that's what their assignment is. Before the hydrant can charge that supply line, they've got to break the supply line, the bed in the rear, and put that into an intake on the engine. If there's no communication, if the hydrant charges that supply line too soon, it's going to charge that whole supply bed. Chances are we're never going to get that supply line working for the operation. So once the engine stops, whether it's the driver has to do it by himself or if there's other firefighters that can assist, we've got to break that supply line. Depending on where the coupling stops as that engine is being laid out, maybe we can just break that line and put it right into an intake on either side of the engine. If the coupling stops further back from our engine, we can use pony lines. Rather than taking a full length of 5-inch hose, 100-foot length off of the engine, having that hose flaked out all over the place and in the way, we can take a pony line off as well. We've got 50-foot pony lines of 5-inch hose on each side of the engine. We can take one of those. But in this situation, where our engine stopped, our coupling is easily accessible, we've got enough hose that we can break it and put it into an intake. The firefighter can climb up, he can grab the coupling, bring it down. Again, it might be one firefighter having to do this. We've got the luxury, we've got 2 firefighters. They can manipulate one lock each and break that supply line. We've got it broken, we can put one end down. Our firefighter can come over, do an intake again on either side of the engine for the grip. Lock it into place. Once that's locked into place, we've got to flake out this hose so it's out of our way. Then the engine can radio to the hydrant to send water. Back at the hydrant, once the engine makes that call that they are ready to receive water, the firefighter at the hydrant can go ahead and turn that water supply on. There There is a lock on that valve on the hydrant. You've got to slide that lock, and then you can rotate that lever 90 degrees so it's in line with the supply line. Now we've got an established water supply up to our engine and can continue the fire attack. In our training video today, we reviewed the setup of a sustained water supply by having the first due engine perform a forward lay. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is up to the incident commander to determine if the first due engine is going to establish their own water supply or if it will be established by a later arriving piece of apparatus. Keep in mind that if the second due engine is going to establish that water supply, once they perform that forward lay, the supply line should be broken and then connected directly into the attack apparatus. The supply line should not be connected to that second due piece of apparatus. We hope that you enjoyed our training video today. In future videos, we will review the steps to have a second due engine boost the water supply into the hydrant assist valve when a first due engine established their own water supply, and also review the steps to perform a reverse hose lay. Thank you for watching.